And this video is going to be all Q&A, all about eBay. I say, here at Kajun Reseller, you give me an offer and I'll take it. You got the dollars? We got the offer? Let them have it with no problem. Let them have it with no problem. In this video series that I'll be doing on the how-tos, these are from my morning shows for those who cannot make the morning show, and I've been doing a series on how-tos on different platforms, and this one will be Q&A, all about eBay. And it just so happens that on the eBay Q&A, all about eBay is with the Bargain Effects Tommy 2.0. And what I'm doing is I'm recreating those live shows in my pre-recorded how-to playlist. So I'll be having those for each of the shows that I do during the week. So hopefully this will help you. That way, if you have any questions that are pertaining to what we talked about in the show, you can also do the comment section of the video down below, and I'll be glad to add that to my list of questions if you may have them. And hopefully we'll see you in the next morning show. If this is your first time tripping over my channel, I want to thank you so much for coming by. And also, if you've been returning, I want to thank you for your continuing support to the channel. But everything I'm going to ask you is free. Right below this video, that word subscribe, make sure you subscribe to the channel, especially if you like the content. And also, after you do that, make sure right next to it there's the notifications. Make sure you hit all three, because the very top one is where you get all your notifications at. Then also hit me the thumbs up. That does help the channel. But most importantly, give me those comments below, because guess what? That helps the channel, but it also helps me interact with you, because I do answer each and every one of those comments. So if you have any Q&A questions and answers with having to do with eBay, today is all about eBay. And so we'll have a special show every Tuesday. Who's with us every Tuesday? None other than the Tommy, the 2.0, the Bargain Effects.
Hey, good morning. All ready to talk about Amazon.
That's right. You ready to talk about Amazon now?
This is the wrong show. I got to go.
Did I say Amazon?
No, I don't even do it.
Wait, what did I say? You threw me off there for a minute. What's up, Patrick? He's at work. We know it's a working Patrick this morning. So, Tommy, tell everybody a little bit about what you got going on and what you got going on with your channel. And let me switch. There you go.
There we go. Oh, you remember Johnny. All right.
Yes, I did.
Okay, my channel, I'm going to start dropping videos after March 21st. I'm getting a whole lineup of videos so I can release them in a regular, normal concession. So get subscribed. It's going to be pretty much all eBay and some of what we do on the decal side, but it's going to be the eBay part of the decal side. If people are interested in actually checking out what we do with the decals, let us know, because Des is thinking about running something on that. But otherwise, it's going to be all eBay all the time. We start in a store from the ground up so people can follow through and just from 0 items to how you can progress in eBay, whether you want to progress as a hobby seller, you just want to get stuff out of your closet, or you want to become a full-time reseller. And when I say full-time, I mean full-time, not this is all I do, so I'm full-time, but I work 12 hours a week. I mean a full-time job of reselling.
Right. Well, it's all Q&A about eBay. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to continue where we were from last Tuesday. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. All questions are good questions. So don't feel like you got a question that's not stupid, because you just never know that maybe somebody else is in the chat listening, working and lurking, and they may hear your questions. Like, oh, wait, I was thinking about that. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions. But I'm going to start the questions off today with something that we didn't talk about last week. So we're trying to keep things going on an ongoing basis when it comes to, because there's so much to learn, especially when you're just starting out and you're thinking about doing a store. I get a lot of questions or statements that I haven't started yet.
And everybody knows that's my favorite word. When I hear that word yet, I love it. You know, it means you're thinking about it. So
that means it's just waiting to happen. It's just waiting to happen.
When it's going to happen, we don't know, but you know what? We're here to support you in any way we can. So what I want to do is I want to start off with a question that somebody may not know about. And it's something that we all tend to, I guess, worry about it when it happens.
Okay.
And that has to do with that big old word of Vero. What's that Vero all about?
The Vero, for people that aren't familiar with Vero, Vero is a list usually of companies like Velcro, Nike, you know, a lot of your big major companies, some companies that you never heard of, that restrict you either from selling their products on eBay or selling, more commonly, new products on eBay. You're not affected by Vero as much if you're selling a used product than if you're doing retail arbitrage and selling new products. But I'm not really sure how to explain the Vero list. You can look up the Vero list. I don't have a link for it. If you have a questionable item, to see if the particular company is on the eBay Vero list. Because if you do get Veroed, your item will get taken down. You'll get a ding on your account and a warning. I think it's just a warning the first time. They kind of just slap you, tell you don't sell this product no more. They put a claim against you. And the next time you can get like a 3-day suspension, third time's like a 30, and then the fourth, your account's just gone. And I'm not sure if that, maybe you know, Johnny, if that is in like your eBay lifetime, or is that on some type of rotating calendar?
Rotating calendar on so many days within each other.
Okay.
And everyone is a 90-day. In other words, you like for your first count, it's within 90 days. And
Okay.
if you don't get another one within 90 days, and you do get another one, but if it's something, now usually it's the same category. Like, for example, say you got a mug, one of these drinking cups.
Right.
You get a Vero for this. You can get another Vero on, say, a sterling silver piece, because that is two different categories, two different things. That's okay. It won't hurt you that much. It's if you get another one for that same topic or that same category, then you're going to look at within 90 days. You want to make sure they're not within 90 days. So the best thing is to try not to get any at all. And the biggest thing that people say, like I see a lot on YouTube, oh, you can't say that word Velcro. Well, on YouTube, you can say it all you want.
Right.
It's in a listing, you can't use it in your listing. Like you have to use hook and loop or adjustable and things like that. So there's ways you can get around it. But also you can get a Vero when it comes to, for example, you get something that's a Disney item and you list it and you sell it overseas. Certain countries that also know, like knives, certain objects, certain things from different companies, you can't sell on overseas. So you'll get a Vero on that. But 9 times out of 10 is just pull. I've been very lucky. Most of mine have just been pulled with no Veros or no strikes, to where don't do it again, or you cannot list this for this country. And just make sure, if you are able to relist it, just make sure you follow what you cannot do and don't do that again. Basically is what that's about.
Right. And I
Thank you, Ms. Denise.
I've been selling on eBay a very, very long time. I've only had one Vero hit. And it actually was on a hat, and it wasn't the hat that was Veroed. It's because Velcro is very much a stickler. And I put adjustable Velcro back.
Yep.
And they hit me for the term Velcro. Even though I wasn't selling Velcro, I was selling the hat. I used the term Velcro, and you change it to hook and loop. That's your go-to when you're selling anything Velcro, and then you have no problem. That's the only one I've ever had.
And so you know what's funny? My first one was that hat. I did a hat, and I used the word Velcro in my title, and I couldn't understand, why am I getting this? Because that particular hat was a Dodge Ram with the flames hat.
Right.
And I called eBay. It's like, what I'm doing wrong? I don't understand. Why is this considered a Vero? And so she looked at it, and she even told me, you can relist this, but you cannot use the word Velcro. And then she gave me the examples: hook and loop, adjustable, anything other than that word Velcro. Right. And so I was able to relist it, and within a week or so I sold it. So yeah. All right, we do have a question already and what is the most used supplies for shipping, and where do you get it, and how frequent? That is an absolutely awesome question.
For me, I would personally have to say boxes. I have a Napa right around the corner from me, and they get their stuff in. Their boxes are very clean. Like once they take their product out, you can't tell they're used. I'd never use a box that's been sitting in a dumpster with food or anything like that. But these people are actually pretty cool. They know what sizes I commonly use, and they actually break them down for me and set them in the back along with bubble wrap, and set it off to the side so it stays indoors and it's clean. So for me, it's boxes. Well, how about you, Johnny? What is your most repurposed?
I'm going to cover that whole question with what I use. For me, it's mainly boxes. And a lot of times, like for Funko Pops, hats, I use an 8x6x4 box. Most of the time, I also use the bubble wraps, the bubble packing. But for me, I get all mine through eBay on my coupon. If you have a store level, depending on that store level, you do get a coupon. It's every quarter. Every now and then you may hear me say Q1 is almost over. Make sure you use your coupon before you lose it. And I do have a video on that on how to find that coupon, because if you don't remember, like I know when I first started, I actually was doing a regular store. I didn't have an actual store level.
Right.
And then in the middle of October, I joined and switched over to an actual level store, the second to highest they had. And then all of a sudden, I heard somebody talking about using your coupon before you lose it. So I went and check and see if I had one. And sure enough, what they did was, even though it was my first month and a half a month, they prorated me and gave me a partial type credit for a coupon. And with that coupon, you go in there and look at shipping supplies, and you can get all that for that coupon. So if you say, for example, in my level, I get $50 every quarter, and that's every 3 months. January, February, March, you got to use it within those months, and that's $50. That comes off of, for example, the amount you pay for your subscription to that store. They're giving you a $50 coupon. And with that coupon, you basically can go in and get anything that's marked eBay is what you can get with that coupon. So if you tend to want to use more boxes, I use a lot of tissue. So with my coupons, every now and then when I'm running low, I'll replenish it with the tissues with the eBay logo on it, or even eBay tape, boxes, poly bags, anything that you would like to use. And it's up to you on how you're going to ship things, but use the best way possible. And make sure when you're shipping things out, you ship it out the way you want it to come to you.
Exactly.
You got to think about that too, depending on the product, depending on where it's going. You got to look at that as well. But for me, I use my coupon. I have heard people do use, and I see this on a lot of the dumpster diving videos, where there's some people that just strictly go out and dumpster diving for boxes, poly bags, a paper filler, a space, they call that a filler, where you can get these papers. It's like a newspaper, but it's not printed on material, and wrapping paper that's not written on, and that kind of stuff. You'll be surprised at all that stuff people find in a dumpster that is like a recyclable bin. That's all they put in there. Now, you may want to be careful with, like, for example, I see a lot of videos where they go into these dumpster diving, but then there's all kind of food. People open stuff and throw stuff in there. So you got to be cautious with that for cross-contaminations on that cardboard. But other than that, it's all in what you're going to use for your products.
Absolutely. Like I say, I use Napa, but that's how I connected with them, and they started saving me boxes, is because I used to dumpster dive in their dumpster for boxes, because I shipped a lot of VCRs and stereo amps and receivers. So I needed a good heavy box, you know. And well, you're getting car parts, you're getting cases of oil and stuff like that. So they're a good heavy box. And I was out there and I was going through their dumpster, and they have a separate cardboard, so it's not in there with all the other garbage. And the guy came out, and he happened to be bringing boxes out at the time. And he was just like, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, "I'm just doing some shipping stuff. I'm just looking for used boxes." And he's like, "Oh man, we got a bunch inside." So I didn't even have to go into the dumpster to get them. And I went in the back door, and he showed me, he's like, "I can save these for you all the time." And I'm like, cool. You know, now I don't even have to go. I just walk in the store like once every 2 weeks and just grab a bunch of boxes, and then they'll throw out whatever I don't take.
Now, one of the things I would suggest, like, for example, your Dollar Tree, Dollar Store, Family Dollar, any of those places, go talk to the manager. They're going to throw all that stuff away when they break it down anyway. Depending if they have even a trash compactor or one of those cardboard box compactors.
Yep.
If you reach out to them and say, okay, I know, like, for example, our Family Dollar Tree that I go to, the Dollar Tree, they get their shipments every Tuesday, but they don't do the floors and everything until Wednesday. So if I wanted to go and get anything, I can go on Wednesdays, but I don't do that because I have enough product to ship with. But again, if you contact or talk with, if you're in their store a lot, find out who the manager is. Let them know, look, I'm interested in if you would be able to help me out. Every now and then I may need some boxes or whatever. And if you would like to get rid of them, could I get with you and get them on what day would it be a best day? 9 times out of 10, they'll not only tell you what their truck delivery is, but what day they actually do everything on the floor and get rid of their products to put on the floor and get rid of those boxes.
Yep.
So
and I found like our $3 trees that we go to, and I love Dollar Tree boxes for smaller items because they have a lot of smaller boxes. And when they're out there on the floor, you know, stocking, they're more than happy to give us the boxes because that's less that they got to break down and haul out to the dumpster. You know, they'll give them to me right off the floor. So most places are happy to give you their boxes.
Okay. I'm highlighting this because I'm not sure if it's a question or if it's a statement.
Okay. Let's see what
like demographics and the trends which decided on what's listed. For example, 2022. Something I could now today we're reporting. Exporter economy. Buying trends have changed. Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The answer for me, I definitely always look at trending. I don't just go to sell what's trending, but like with our decal business, definitely we go with what's trending. I'm always Googling what is the trending topics that have to do with like car graphics and whatever. What was it, 2 years ago or what, we were selling that Freedom Convoy decals when all that stuff was going on in Canada and down here. We had a big variety of them. I made sure we had a big variety of them, but I'm not going to put any. I think we have one left on there just for that we sell occasionally, but I took a majority of them down because they're just taking up storeroom. It's old news. It's not trending no more. The sales went down on it. So definitely trends have an effect on what we sell. As far as when it comes to the resale type goods, no, because I'm dealing with used stuff. I don't personally look for trending products in used resaleable merchandise. I look at a lot of necessity items or gadgets that people want for their kitchens or their household. Those are the products that I tend to sell. I had to merge over to that when a couple years back, eBay, when they went over to manage payments, they restricted a lot of medical stuff because I used to sell a lot of medical stuff from cryo coolers for your knees to oxygen tubing to air boots and stuff. And when they went over to manage payments, they restricted a lot of that. So I had to change my whole trend of what I sell to something different.
Furniture stores are a great source for bubble wraps as well. You know, I never thought of that. And that's a good point you made on that because I would have never thought of that. Tommy, does a neutral feedback rating hurt you?
No, I don't feel a neutral feeding hurts you at all. It's exactly what it is. It's neutral. It's not a positive. I don't think it boosts you, but it doesn't hurt you either. It's just there. Right. I would personally rather not have any feedback versus a neutral feedback. We got a neutral feedback the other day where it was neutral and it was for a decal, and they said it was okay. And I'm waiting to hear back from the person because I reached out to him and I says, seeing you left us a neutral feedback, we appreciate your feedback, but how could we have turned you from an okay customer to this was a fantastic experience customer? And I'm waiting to hear back. And because if I could get them to change that to a positive, it would be great versus a neutral. Because like I say, it doesn't hurt you, but it doesn't boost you either. Somebody is saying, yeah, it was an okay experience. I'd rather not have that. I only want all my positives up there.
And one of the things too, what's good about any kind of, if it's a negative or neutral, you can always reach out like you did to the customer, and that's part of customer service. Wanted to know what was wrong, what was it that I can change,
And
that's
it
one
bothered me that it bothered me that it was like, it was okay because we use high quality vinyl. Destiny is very detailed in her work, so I know there was like no bad cuts or tags that were ripping off, and the shipping was like, it was like they got it within 3 days of the day they ordered it. So I'm like, I mean, what were they expecting? Why is it just okay?
Right. Didi says she was unhappy about the size of the item, although I clearly stated the dimensions. One of the things I do, like today, I just listed a pewter eagle, landing eagle, that is $898 out of 2,500 piece. It is a signed piece and it is a numbered piece. But what I did was, even though I have the dimensions described in the description bar, because remember, a lot of people don't even go read that. Even though I do, I want to know more. I want to go check out the feedback and things like that. Some people don't do that. And then again, I will take a picture with my measuring ruler,
Yes,
and showing the length, showing the width, is the wingspan, what's the wingspan, that kind of stuff. So maybe think about doing that kind of stuff in your pictures as well as your description. So now you're kind of doubling yourself up with that. My opinion is that a lot of people don't look at all that. Now, why do we sit there and write all that stuff in our description? Because we want to make sure it's all details are there, but a lot of people just don't go read it. I don't know why.
I find a lot of people don't read the description because they'll reach out through a message and ask us a question that is in the description. And it's like, you want to just say, hey, don't you read? But we always use our excellent customer service and very polite and answer their question. But I always do point out the answer to your question is listed in the description.
Yeah.
And then I'll go and answer the question. But a
Well,
lot of people don't read.
Like with Didi's last statement, on my last sale I had last weekend, I literally typed it all in, all the little boxes you check off, and it didn't state that it was instrumental, but you could see the pictures. It was all music. It was all this and that. And the question came in, is this instrumental or is it vocal? So what I did was I went back, checked to make sure it was in the listing, and I just went back and answered. These are all vocal. There is no instrumental on this album. The minute I hit send, within a minute, he purchased it. But again, sometimes you do have to go out of your way. Sometimes it's right there in the listing. You already took the time to do the pictures, do the listing, and do your details, and they don't read it. So 9 times out of 10, as long as you do get that email and you reply to it, you will have more likely to have a sale than if you just ignore it. Never ignore an email from a customer.
Absolutely. And I will, as annoying as some of the questions that you get through an email, one way to stay positive about it is somebody is showing interest in your item enough to message you. eBay recognizes that as interest in your item, which actually helps them push it out to other people, because they say, well, this person is interested in it. Let's push it out to other people that have the same interest and look at the same stuff as this guy. There's been many times that I've been messaging back and forth with somebody about something, and somebody completely different all of a sudden bought it.
Yeah.
Same with offers. People get upset because they get lowball offers. Don't ignore it. Don't decline it. Always counter it. Even if you're countering it with the same price you have it listed for, because you just don't want to come down on it. Always counter it, because the more activity you have on an item, the more it shows eBay that people are interested, and they push it out to more people. That's another thing I've had. I've gone back and forth with a guy through counter offers, and it's sold to somebody completely different during that time.
Exactly. And that happens a lot, because I even have that happen where I'll send out offers. Somebody sends me a question, I reply. But it's interesting how sometimes you may have multiple watchers on an item and somebody else doesn't want to wait, I've had somebody send me an offer and I accepted it, and they turn around and purchase it before I can accept it. They purchased it for the full asking price or an offer that I already sent them in the past, because you do have a certain time frame when you do send out offers. So take your chance. You know, the most they're going to do is turn around and buy it, and they don't want to wait sometimes, and they just buy it as what you already sent them an offer for. Hello, shopping on the low.
And a good tip here, a lot of people don't know this, but reply as fast as you can. eBay takes into account, and they used to have a score rating for it somewhere, and maybe they still do, but I lost track of it. But they used to have a rating on how fast you reply. So if you're like getting ready to lay down, somebody sends you a question and you look at it, reply to it. Don't be like, now I'll answer that in the morning. I'm guilty of it. It does happen sometimes. But if you're able to reply right away, reply right away. It definitely helps you.
Okay, you can find that in the tab on the top of your Seller Hub under Performance Summaries. If you go to that summary, you can see a lot of details about your store. So yeah, if you have any questions that have to do with eBay, and there's something you were wondering about, thinking about, and are you thinking about getting into reselling with eBay? Let us know. We have questions. That's what we're here for, question and answers. Hello, Peddling Profits. Good morning. Make sure you do ask them. You want to make sure you understand and know some things. We're not here to say we're professionals, but we can here to help you, guide you on any questions you may have.
Absolutely.
Right.
I do not claim to be a professional at all.
Yeah.
I just claim to have a lot of experience because I sell a lot.
And again, you learn from mistakes, so don't be afraid to make mistakes. You talked a little earlier about retail arbitrage. For those who don't know what that is, and it's RA, what is, and explain a little bit about that.
Retail arbitrage, which I have done some for eBay. It's more of a Amazon common way. But you still have time to make right. Retail arbitrage is where you go out to, like, say, Walmart, Walgreens, whatever, but you're going and buying new product, whether it be on clearance or you can go into just about any store and find product, even at retail full price on the shelf, that you can sell at a higher price online. And that's basically what your retail arbitrage is buying brand new product off the shelf and then listing it on eBay or Amazon or whatever platform to sell for a profit. It's the same as if you buy it online and you're going and buying something in bulk online, except instead of retail arbitrage, it's online arbitrage. But it's just buying new product off the shelf, bringing it home, and reselling it.
Now that brings me to my next question. I do have a video on this on like how to do your sourcing on your phone. What is the major thing that I see this a lot, and I want to see what your answer is. What is the biggest mistake people do when doing retail arbitrage? And for example, they see a video, BOLO, look what's going on, how much it's going for, what is it selling for? What is the worst thing people can make sure not to do when retail arbitraging after watching multiple videos of what people are finding on retail arbitrage?
One thing that I stay away from is I don't run out and buy that product. Because you figure, especially if it's a bigger channel that put that BOLO out, hey, bought this, sold it for this much. Well, all them other people that seen that and then talk about it with their other friends, and they all run out and buy that product, and you're not going to sell it and make the profit they made, because when they happen to find it, if they were a smart reseller, they did not put that video out until they sold out.
Yep.
Because otherwise they're just going to create competition for themselves, and everybody's going to race to the lowest price to be able to sell their product. So I would say the biggest mistake is getting excited and running out to Walmart and trying to find that product to sell it. Before you do that, make sure you check and see if it's still worth what they claimed it was worth.
Now, also, you got to remember if you're watching a video and they're putting out, oh, there's BOLO and look what it's going for, but you never know when they put that out. They might have put the video out yesterday, but how long ago was it before they ran out? But the biggest problem I see is, for example, when you're in the store and you're buying it because so-and-so purchased it and selling it, always look and see. When I go to a store and I'm doing retail arbitrage, because remember, not every store that you go to where you live may have that product.
Right.
It may be a regional thing where they're discounting it. But one of the things you need to look at is how many are listed that did not sell yet. If that number is higher than what's selling, stay away from it. If you have 20, 15 items listed of that one item and only 4 sold, that's a red flag. Don't buy it, because then guess what's going to happen? You purchase it. You can either wait on it to list it later, or you list it and have to sit on it because it's not selling, because everybody else is trying to sell their stuff at a cheaper price. Then you're going to have to hold off and wait. So do you actually, you got to think, do I have the money to be able to sit on this to wait till it does come down to where I can sell mine? You got to look at that too.
Absolutely.